All right. Good afternoon, everybody. So today, right, we actually have with us, okay, Ena Teo, okay, and I'm sure she has been a very, very familiar face with every one of you. I'm sure you have actually seen her around or worked with her before. So a bit about her. Okay, from my understanding, right, she's a multifaceted achiever, lah. And for me personally, knowing her, right, she's very involved in lifestyle, food, fashion, blogging, etc., etc. And of course, not forgetting, right, she's also very active in our real estate market. Okay, so she's also known as Live65. So please follow her on Instagram. She has this Instagram account, Live65 Official. So you might want to actually open your Instagram account, right, and take a look, right, on her contents, because I really find that some of her contents, right, are really very, very engaging. And in this session, I'm pretty sure, right, she has many things, right, to actually share with you guys. Why? Because she has actually placed, like, some of the tips for you guys to use on how can you actually engage your Instagram followers, right, in order for them, right, to actually be converted into leads, right or not, Anna? So
Yeah.
that will be something good, right, that you guys can take away. That's just a bit of what she's going to share. So I went through her slides and everything. I really find that it's really awesome. So in this 1.5 hours, 2 hour session, I'm very, very sure that you guys will actually benefit from her sharing. So of course, she is a May 2021 Diamonds Achiever. So she has spent many years in ERA and has earned her rights, okay, to share with you today. And of course, I'm very, very excited, right, to actually let you know that recently she just bought a new car, okay, which she also will share with you later. Her handle is Live65 Official, LIVE 65 Official. So that's her handle on Instagram, Melissa. So yeah, back to her car. So yeah, it was really, very exciting because, just like a few months or a year ago only, she was just telling me, I think I already set a goal already. I want to buy this car. Then I'm like, okay, that's a very good goal. I think that you can achieve that. And just like a month ago, while I was actually celebrating her birthday, well, I got to actually sit in that car. So it's really very amazing, right?
Yeah.
Guys, it's like, sometimes, right, you just need to have that one thought in mind and think of what you really want to achieve. And when you really achieve it and you actually get that goal that you want, right, it brings in immense power to you, and it just keeps you going, and you just want to do more and more and more. So I'm very, very certain that for Anna herself, she will be actually getting more diamond awards this year. Not forgetting which, of course, better clients, bigger closings, and of course more of these later. So without further ado, Anna, are you ready to share with us?
Yes.
All right. Okay, good. So the stage is all yours. Okay. I'll be actually at the background. So if there's any questions, I'll be there to actually answer also.
Okay.
Okay, all to you now.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. So let me share screen with y'all for the slides that I have prepared. Okay. I believe y'all can see my screen now, right? First of all, I just want to thank Kevin and Beyond for the opportunity to speak today. And also thank you, Celine, for the back-end support. And it's my honor and pleasure and privilege to be able to share about myself, my journey, and just some of my humble strategies that I have been adopting for my property work and marketing. So I really hope, like what Beyond have said earlier, that my sharing today will really benefit you all. So it's also my first time to be sharing something like this of a similar nature. So I hope you all will, be able to benefit from me and understand that it's my first time doing this. So if I'm not very good at it, please pardon me. Yeah. So let me so I have titled today's sharing as the power of leverage and strategy. So in today's sharing, I will be touching on, in particularly, how to leverage on the power of social media, as well as the support, as well as marketing materials that company and division, Preeminent Group, have provided for us, and also adopting and leveraging on marketing strategies for real estate success. So my sharing today, okay, there will be a total of 65 slides. It took me about 6 hours to prepare, and there will be about 6 parts. So the 6 parts is split into about me, life before I joined ERA, how I started out in real estate, how I established my system and gained momentum in real estate, and how I grew my digital influence. And then from there, I create my own real estate brand. And I'll be sharing a lot of tips and tricks on how I basically grow the digital influence, and so you can also adopt them for yourself. And last but not the least, then I'll be sharing more marketing strategies that I personally adopt, which I feel that you can perhaps use and adopt if you feel it's useful. And there's also a bonus if you stay all the way until the end. Okay. So now I want to share a little bit more about myself. What was life like for me before I joined ERA? So of course, I'm not going to go into like, a grandmother long story. I'm just going to quickly summarize and just share. Basically, after JC, I studied LaSalle. I graduated with a degree in fashion, media, and industries. So as you can see, this is how I look like. I was very into the golf style, edgy punk look. And I even had like very havoc, like red ombre hair back then. And yeah, so this is with my LaSalle classmates, the second photo, where we made a trip to Hong Kong to study the fashion market in Hong Kong. And yeah, I finally graduated, and a graduation photo with my parents. So why I need to share about this is because when I was in LaSalle, in my second final year, so the year before I was going to graduate, one of my secondary school classmate who was actually working in CDL. She was interning as a corporate comms intern, and they needed a marketing intern. Actually, to put it bluntly, they needed a Saikang warrior for one of their, or a few of their show flats. So I was basically quote unquote cheap labor for CDL. So she was like, oh, CDL needs marketing intern, during the school holidays for June, July, would you like to come down and work, and you get a bit of pay. I think I was paid like $5 an hour back then. Yeah, so that's how I got to enter the real estate industry as a CDL intern. Yeah. So that's where I kind of entered the real estate industry as a CDL intern. And then I actually graduated from LaSalle. And after I graduated, I basically, by then, after I had my experience in CDL as an intern, I decided, okay, I think real estate is something that I can do. So I went to take the courses at night while I was still in LaSalle. And then I took the exams and I passed on my first try. This is really like 10 years ago. So it's much easier for those new agents that just joined us. And I was deciding, so before I graduated, I was deciding, okay, should I go back to fashion, where I have years of experience in school and internship as well in other fashion companies, or should I go into real estate? So after I spoke to my lecturers and my friends and my family, they say, okay, since you have a fashion degree, why not you make use of the fashion degree and you join the fashion industry first. So that's what I did. So I was a fashion executive, marketing executive with Closet, which is a fashion and beauty website company. And I did that job for 3 months. So at this stage, I already got my license ready. And then I already started practicing a little bit. I actually managed to rent out and sell some condos, new launch, but it wasn't like a lot of progress, and results. So then I decided, okay, I saw my seniors and colleagues in real estate, and I was like, I think real estate is something that I want to focus more instead. Also, one thing I want to share at this point is that when I was a marketing intern with CDL at the show flats, I was running like, I don't know how many of y'all are senior enough to remember. I was actually at Blossom Residences EC as well as H2O at Pasir Ris. Yeah, this view, and Riverbank as well. And so basically I was like, okay, I saw a lot of agents, right? When last time, unlike COVID, pre-COVID times, there's a lot of agents on standby on duty to be rostered for walk-ins. And every time, or maybe not every time, but many times when the agents on duty, right, when they have closings, right, they're very generous. They will actually treat all the staff and sometimes even the agents on duty breakfast or lunch. Yeah, and I was thinking, wow, I know these agents are so generous. So I was thinking, wow, it would be great if one day I can be an agent and I can also be very generous. Yeah, so this is also one thing that inspired me. And another thing is that when I remember vividly when I was interning at Blossom Residences EC. So back then, right, the EC 3 room is 700K. Yeah, and I was 21 years old, okay? So I was thinking, wow, you need to take like 25, 30-year loan to pay off like $500,000. Then I was thinking, wow, I do the calculations, how long must I work to be able to pay off this amount? And I was thinking, wow, having a debt for 25 over years is damn long, man. And I was thinking, wow, but if you're an agent, you can actually make a lot of money from selling condos from the commission, and therefore you don't need to take so long to pay off this bank loan. So I was thinking, wow, it's a good idea to be an agent. I can not hold myself to such a long property home loan debt lah. But then, of course, now, a few years later, as an agent, this is so normal. People actually have 20 to 30-year long loan tenures. Yeah, so these are some of the rationale of what inspired me to really go into real estate to become an agent. Is really to give my family and myself a better life ahead of me. Yeah, I can really see like being an agent versus a non-agent work. People are really, as real estate agents who are top producers, they're really very generous. Yeah. So here you can see, this is when I was a tagger for Kingsford Water Bay back in 2014. Yeah, so this is how I started in real estate. So when I was in real estate, I started off part-time first. So for the whole of, I graduated in 2013. So for the last quarter of 2013 and the whole of 2014, in fact, the whole of 2014, I was doing part-time admin work. I got a bit of income from doing admin work, and I was doing a bit of rental here and there. And so basically for the month of, I would say, December 2014, I was sleepless because my income was not stable. I was doing like maybe 1 or 2 rental closing every other month. To whatever I was earning was really just enough to for my own expenses. And I was really like wondering, should I continue in real estate? Yeah, because I was wondering, should I go back to fashion or marketing or branding related career since I have that degree and have a higher stable income, or should I go into real estate? Yeah, so of course everybody will know I stayed on in ERA. If not, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And at this point, I just want to say the learning lesson for me here is very important to surround yourself with people who believe in you and want you to do better in life. Because at the point in time when I was very lost and wondering like, oh, am I able to succeed in my real estate career? My close friends, my family, they encourage me and they say that I can do it, they believe in me. I really had lost faith in myself. I wasn't sure whether I would be able to be producing consistent results and income. Yeah, but the people around me that were close to me, they believed in me, and therefore I took their faith in me to really get myself, full-time into real estate. So I joined real estate full-time with no part-time income at all, just like many of us here in the year 2015. So now, of course, life wasn't still a bit of roses when I did property full-time in 2015. I will share with you my beginnings in ERA. So this is one of the first tenants that I had completed servicing, in a sense, help them. I started out, as I mentioned earlier, with a lot of rentals and referrals. And how I went about is that maybe some of you or many of you will already know there's quite a lot of developer listings. So one big example is Far East Organization. They have a huge list of units for rent. I think they are one of the biggest landlords in Singapore, in fact. So I'm pretty sure their very hardworking agents will also contact you to ask you to help market the listings and bring tenants to you. So that's what I did at the start. I actually posted a lot of these listings on my property guru with in hopes of finding the tenant. And then when I meet the tenant and if they have a good budget, then I will assist to help them find other non Far East Organization listings for rent. So those were my beginnings. I was doing a lot more rental business, and gradually I figured that okay, rental is good, no doubt, because it brings very quick and fast income. Usually, if you close this month, you'll get paid out the following month, or even sometimes within the month itself. But beyond just that, in order to grow as a real estate, all-rounded real estate agent, I wanted to establish my sales system as well. So I've of course, in ERA, we learn a lot about GTA. In fact, our preeminent group also has sharing sessions about growing your own GTA, which stands for Geographical Targeted Area. So as I stay in the East and I grew up in the East, I'm very familiar with District 15, which is East Coast. So in one of the Far East listings, so I just want to share, in this segment, I'll be sharing a few strategies that I adopted, to really establish and grow my strategies and system in my career. So this is one of the first strategies is to have your own GTA. Ideally, it should be near or close to where you stay. And that's something that you are really familiar with. So so Far East, they have this East Coast landed rental listing. So I had listed a few of their East Coast landed listing, and I still remember this was, I think, in 2016, 2017, they're about 2017, I think. Yeah, so at that point in time, I wasn't driving yet. I didn't have my first car yet. I remember vividly, I was on the train, and then I received a call from a landlord, this lady. And then she was calling me and she said, oh, I see that you have a landed listing for rent. Then at first I thought she was a tenant. Then I say, yeah. Then I give her some details. I say, oh, do you want to come and view the unit? When do you want to arrange for the viewing? Then she was like, oh, no, I'm not a tenant, but I have a unit for rent in that area. So would you want to come and help me rent it out? Then of course, I was more than happy and glad to help her rent out her listing. So I met her, I went down to the place, which is a corner terrace landed at Upper East Coast Road. And then I marketed it for a while and I brought her a tenant. So I'm not sure whether you all have experience or some of you have experience with or similar encounter, but basically this is quite it's not uncommon. In fact, for me, it's quite a common occurrence whereby I post a listing for rent or for sale in the area, and owners or sellers of similar property in the area will contact me and say, oh, I noticed that you are like the, we call it expert agent of the area, or they call it expert agent of the area. So would you be able to help me market my unit for sale or rent? Yeah, so of course, the answer should be yes lah. Yeah, so this is something that I think really also helped me a lot. And in addition to this, I also have other sales listing because I choose to focus in a specific GTA. Of course, another benefit is that because I'm so familiar with East Coast, I don't need to go back and prepare like, oh, where's the nearest MRT, where's the nearest shopping mall. When I'm there, everything is already at the back of my mind or at the back of my hand, and I'll just whichever unit I am or project I am in District 50, I'll be able to say, oh, you look across, I12 is over here, Parkway is over here, and you have all your major banks, you can just like rattle on. Yeah, so this is the power of GTA. So next, I think one thing that really helped me succeed in my real estate career is following up. My following up game is quite strong. Yeah, so I remember I have this, not remember, but this is a true story. So back in 2014, while I was doing quite a fair bit of road shows, one of it was for Riverbank. And then I had this lead, actually this lead, his name is Victor. Yeah, so I think I brought him down to see this show flat and a few other show flats. I think he was quite impressed with my sharing and my sincerity. So he actually made me this promise. He said like, even though I'm not going to buy the condo now, but in future, when I need to sell and buy my place, I will look for you. And lo and behold, really 3 years later, in 2017, I also want to say, so basically, we also, within that 3 years, we kept in contact. So we have actually each other's contact on WhatsApp and on Facebook. So during special occasions like Chinese New Year, Christmas, we will exchange greetings like, oh, happy holidays, like, how are you? Yeah, so that was how we kept in contact, and I followed up in the 3 years interim. So 2017 came around, and then at that point in time, he wanted to relocate. He was staying at block 940 something Hougang, and so I actually helped him. I sold his Hougang 4-room, and then we helped his family and him to upgrade to a 5-room at Serangoon Central, and at a very good price, and he was very, very happy about it. And then the following year, his mom rented out her HDB at Bedok so that she can move in with the family and stay together. So through this one lead, even though he didn't buy the Riverbank from me in 2014, I actually transacted 1 sales, 1 purchase, and 1 rental from this one lead. So so if you feel very disappointed, sometimes you have many viewings, or outreach to clients that didn't lead to a closing, I just want to tell you that, real estate is really like a long-term game. So clients may not be able to make decisions overnight, but if you really keep in contact with them, if you're sincere, they will really see your sincerity, and they will look for you when they really need your help. So this is another story about the power of follow-up. So this is 2018. So I think I met this tenant sometime in maybe around like August, September 2018. I was, again, I was marketing rental listings, and this time is in the Balmoral area. I remember this tenant budget was like around $4,000. So, just nice, because, the minimum co-broke is like $3,000. So the tenant profile budget need to have at least $3,000 for you to serve the tenant. So funny, I still remember the tenant, he was very late, like 45 minutes late. So I was like all alone in the unit, just waiting for the tenant. Then wondering like, when on earth is this tenant gonna come? Is he even gonna show up? Every 15 minutes I message, are you coming? Are you coming? So thankfully I actually didn't have appointment after that, so I could be able to wait for him for like 45 minutes. 45 minutes later he came around, he came alone. And then he was like, okay, yeah, but this is not what I want. Then I was like, okay, so what is it that you want? So I took down, immediately on my phone notes, I asked him, okay, so what is it you want? And then after that, I say, okay, I'll be able to help you look for what you want. I understand you are very busy. If you choose to work exclusively with me, I understand what you want, and I just, send you all the listings of what you need, and then arrange the viewings for you and go to the viewings with you. How about that? Then he said, okay, this is a very good idea. So that's how we started our viewings together. So I remember, I think we ran at least 3 to 4 rounds of viewings. And so this I've later, as I gradually found out, this tenant, he's actually from Hong Kong. He was actually studying at that point in time, and he was graduating, and he was looking to find a bigger 3-bedroom unit, okay, so that he can stay when he's working in Singapore. He plans to find a job and stay in Singapore. So he was so gradually, and over about 2 months, and then about end October, November, he said, okay, we have shortlisted 3 units. So after multiple viewing sessions, we shortlisted 3 units. We were going to wait for his father from Hong Kong to come down to see the shortlisted units. So that's what happened over one weekend. The dad came from Hong Kong and then saw the 3 units with us. So I actually arranged for, a car, because at that time, at a point in time, I also still don't have a car yet. So I arranged for a car to take us to view the 3 shortlisted units. And then after the 3 shortlisted units, the father was very unimpressed. He was like, okay, how much is the rental? Oh, wow. He saw the open kitchen, and he was like, wow, open kitchen cannot, very bad feng shui. And then after he say, wow, so much money for the rental, and then not furnished, and then you still need to buy your own furniture. What a waste of money. He said that. So he said, why not we buy? And he said, why not we buy? Then I was in the car. Then I was like, okay, Ken, sure, we can go and take a look at this thing. What is your budget? Then turns out the father is some tycoon in Hong Kong. So he said, oh, my budget is around, of course, all this he said in Chinese lah. So I'm, for the sake of, for everybody to understand, interpreting and repeating the story in English. He said, oh, the budget around like $5 million. And then I was trying to keep myself calm, from $4,000 rental. The father come in and say, oh, I have budget about $5 million, $6 million including stamp duty. Then I was like, wow, uncle, you can buy anything you want in Singapore. So at this point in time, I'm also the tagger and a core team agent for South Beach. In fact, I still am. Okay, if you all have South Beach buyers, can come and contact me. I will show your buyer around. And I was like, okay, I understand what you want and need. I think I got just the right unit for you. So we actually did the viewing for the rental, the top 3 chosen listings on Saturday. And then I arranged for them to view South Beach on Monday. So came Monday, we see, I think I shortlisted 3 units for them to see at South Beach. And then we settled on this unit that they really, really like, which is, if you see in my photo, that's the exact view from the South Beach unit that the client eventually bought using, as I mentioned, the tycoon father, bought this unit for the son lah. So and basically they saw on Monday, and then they liked it so much, they then decided to follow through and buy the unit on Tuesday. So I think this is really amazing, one of the amazing stories I'm sharing today. So from one tenant rental listing budget of like $4,000, it resulted in one of my biggest deals, which is closing a South Beach buyer. So we really never know when serving one humble client case can lead to maybe perhaps even one of the biggest case and deals of our career lah. So because of that closing, I achieved my first top 50 Achiever Award in ERA. This is December 2018. In fact, I came to this realization also that actually a lot of agents, they go on holiday in November and December. But if you are a bit more hardworking, there's a lot of closings that you can do in November and December. But of course, I guess, with COVID, nobody can travel. So everybody can be hardworking during end of the year. So I, of course, with Bitcoin closing, I was able to afford my first car. This is my first car. I call it Xiao Bai. It's a Volkswagen Golf. I got it on Valentine's Day 2019. And with this car, it really accelerated my sales. So therefore, I really highly encourage everybody to really go and get a car if you are doing real estate sales. Not just because it allows us to run like multiple appointments in a day, but it really motivates you to work harder. And why I say that is because, well, unless you buy your car with full cash, which I didn't, I paid a down payment and I took on a 2-year loan for this car. And with the monthly loan repayment, which is quite significant, I think for me it's about 800 per month back then. And I was like, it's a kind of good pressure to really spur you to earn more, consistently every month so that you can cover this loan, to as well as, to achieve more. So in life, if you are able to be diligent and be habitually good at doing something small, you will then realize that this habit or the system to be able to do this one small thing will allow you to go on to do bigger things. So meaning to say, like, eventually, of course, I'm consistently earning more than I can afford to pay this $800 car loan. But it was this habit that I kind of committed to that allowed me to grow my business and planning to bigger things, which it is what it is today lah. So what I want to say is that you can really. So if you stay on to the end, okay, that's where my bonus sharing comes in. I think this also having my car forced me to be really disciplined in tracking my income and expenses so that I always ensure that my income is always higher than my expenses. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is the year, actually moving on to year 2020, just last year. I would say year 2020 is really a phenomenal year for me. In fact, seems like 2021 is an even more phenomenal year for me. Yeah, so before 2021, I want to share a few kind of like strategies that I adopted in the last year and this year. Which perhaps maybe many of you have already been adopting, but I guess it's a good reminder for us to really understand the basics and always adopt the basics. So let me share with you this, how I, from one HDB buyer, right, I managed to close 3 deals. Okay, so basically I was marketing Parkland DBSS for sale. It's a referral client. So if you don't know, Parkland DBSS is at Hougang. And unfortunately for this DBSS, it's a rare DBSS that is not near any MRT. Usually DBSS is near MRT. So I tell you, I actually marketed this for very long. And we started marketing at a time where not many units were marketing. I was marketing a four-room DBSS, just shortly after MOP. So we also don't have many track record to know how much to price the unit at. And DBSS, the seller already bought at quite a high price. So they were not going to make much money when we were selling, and we kept reducing our price month after month. So every single buyer that came, right, very precious. And bear in mind, my seller already, because in order to send the kids to school at near Boon King area, they already decided and applied to actually buy a unit before they sold a unit. So we were very stressed out, like you already commit to buy a unit before you sell. So you definitely must sell. And so every single buyer that came down, wow, very precious to us. Then I will, sit down with the buyers and I will sayang the buyers. I will share with them, the whole process. I treat, even though I represent the seller, but I treat the buyers like my own buyer. So it just happened that this set of young couple, they came down to this DBSS unit for sale. And then after that, I was very sincere and hoping I can get an offer from them. So I sat them down and I explained to them the whole process. Then they were very wow. By the end of the 1 hour sharing session with them, at the void deck of the DBSS, they were like, wow, you're very good. No agent sat down with us to share with us the buying process, and share with us what is the transaction price and what is the right price to offer. They even told me that there was another agent who was actually selling a unit that was more than 10 floors lower than the unit I was selling, he was trying to get a very high offer from them. So they immediately felt very cheated once I showed them the recent transacted price or what is like a market valuation price of the unit. And I was like, okay, I didn't want to, badmouth other agents. So I just said, I just being very transparent with you. So then almost immediately they were asking me, okay, so we think we like you, we want to engage you to buy our property. Whether so will you charge us commission? So of course I told them, of course I can assist you if you want to buy other unit. When they said they don't want to offer my unit, my heart broke a bit. I was like, you're not going to buy my unit. So I said, okay, it's fine. I can help you to find other HDB units. But to serve HDB buyers, I charge a 1% commission. That's what I told them. And they were very happy because they immediately did the math and say to pay the 1%, and to avoid being overpaying for a unit that they are overpaying above what is market rate, they felt it was very worth it. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Indeed, if you pay me as your agent, I'll be able to help you avoid any pitfalls and avoid paying above market rate and get you a really good unit. So cut the long story short, eventually this buyer, they didn't buy any HDB unit. In fact, they actually bought a Pasir Ris condo unit, just right before circuit breaker last year. And in fact, I didn't want them to buy Pasir Ris. I think online and offline, I shortlisted and showed them almost more than 20 over projects. It was a very, very productive 1.5 months with them. By themselves, they really went to see half the Singapore. Then with me, I pushed them a lot, in my opinion, like many other high capital appreciation condo projects, whether it's new launch or resale. But they fell in love with this ground floor patio unit, and then they engaged me to negotiate the unit. Eventually, I negotiated at this price that was 24,000 below the bank valuation for this unit. And they actually paid me 1% com to help them to buy this Pasir Ris condo. Yeah, and they felt that it was well worth it because that 1% is still less than the savings that I had achieved for them lah. Yeah, so which leads me to, so from this one condo buyer, right? They actually liked me and my service so much because they felt that I was very transparent. I was really able to just share with them what I feel is the benefits and what would be the pitfalls of the condos that they were looking at. Because I usually am quite transparent with my clients, I would really just want the best for them based on the objectives that they give me in terms of their property. So I was very honest and upfront. I say, I don't think you should buy the Pasir Ris condo. But if you really insist on buying because you fall in love with the condo, then I will do my best to get you the best price, which was what I did for them. So I think they appreciated that a lot. So from this one set of buyer, right, they really show me the power of a raving fan. When you really touch the heart of a client, they really become your loud hailer support. And so from them, they referred me 2 clients. So I remember this was actually during circuit breaker. We actually established, in a very short amount of time, we established a very close relationship. So much so that the buyer, she recommended her best friend to buy a Park Esta 1-bedroom from me during circuit breaker. And to the extent actually she did half the convincing to convince her best friend to buy. I just really did the comparison and shortlist I feel what would be the best unit to buy in that in the project at the point in time. Yeah, so and after circuit breaker, they recommended another young couple to buy a resale condo. I went through the whole thorough process of going through multiple district, multiple projects before they shortlisted Minton. Then we viewed all the possible Minton units within their budget, and then they bought a very high floor Minton unit. Yeah, so again, you never know. You could be serving a HDB buyer that eventually can lead you to 3 private condo closings. Yeah. So another type of clients that I want to share that I really like serving is actually business owner families. So I have this, later I'll be sharing with you how through digital market influencing as part of my hobby and lifestyle, I got to meet or I get to meet a lot of business owners. And from there, I really do have a preferential kind of like ideal demographic kind of client, because through one family or one group of clients, there's really many multiple closings, and it makes and keeps things very simple because you are always just contacting one or two people for multiple property transactions. So through this one set of clients that I met through my networking, I actually sold in the span of, I think, like 5 years. Yeah, I closed, as you can see, one Sky Suite at Anson. Through this contact, right, this seller, he then sold his condo and he bought landed. Then his family, in fact, yeah, his family had to sell one landed. So I sold the condo, then I sold one of their family's landed, which was more for investment purposes, and then helped them to buy a landed. And then the family has siblings, or rather this client has siblings, and two siblings. And I also helped the two siblings to rent out their condo. So there's a total of 5 closing through just one family alone. So of course, not all, not many, in fact, not many Singaporeans are that well off to have multiple properties in one family. But when you do, it's a really big blessing to be able to assist them to really manage their property portfolio. Yeah, so I think, the key to this is really establishing very good trust and relationship with such clients, and to really understand their needs, and try to be very sensitive to their needs. In fact, they have personally told me that why they actually enjoy or engage me, enjoy my services, is because I'm not pushy. I don't always just like push them what is hot and hyped up in the market, which they are very, very well aware of. But rather, they will be. I'm very privileged in a sense that, to be very frank, they also have other agents that their family engage, but I'm glad to say that I am one of their preferred agent, because every time they, want to buy or sell, they will send me their kind of like their criteria, and I'll try my best to help them based on that criteria. Yeah. So one more strategy I feel is efficiency is really very, very important. So another kind of like warm lead friend that I have met has actually contacted me via my Instagram, because I post very regularly on Instagram, and we actually have each other's WhatsApp number, even though we haven't met in almost like 2 to 3 years. So she reached out to me and she said, okay, my husband is looking to sell a Hougang HDB. And then she asked me for my rates, how is the process going to be like. So I had a quick call with her over the phone, and I shared with her very briefly. And then I follow up. I said like, okay, she said, okay, we need to talk to, and let me try and talk to other agents. So she told me that I was the fastest to respond to her, and her husband and her, they are clients that are like very, very on the ball. I don't know whether you ever met clients who are very on the ball, and this set of clients, they are like my on the ball clients. So I really love on the ball clients, because when they're very on the ball, right, when whatever info I give them, right, they will come back to me very quickly. And in fact, we actually we concluded 3 transactions in a short span of like 6 months, which was very, very amazing. So she mentioned to me like, oh, okay, you responded to us the fastest, and I think we like your service. So they gave me the exclusivity to actually assist them to sell the husband's HDB, and then rent out the condo under the wife's name, which is my friend's name. And then since the husband sold the HDB, then his name was free to buy the family's next condo, which is we managed to secure under value buy 2-bedroom penthouse in Novena. Yeah, so so really sometimes, you know, although we can be very busy, but it's very important to understand clients that are very kind of like ready. Yeah, so when you know the client is ready, it's very important to act very fast so that you don't miss out on this kind of deals. So from one HDB listing, you can close multiple multiple transactions just by acting fast enough. Yeah, so so this year I thankfully gratefully have closed my first diamond, and I want to share with you what went on you know, to achieving the behind the scenes of achieving my first diamond. So it's actually a friend of friend, or rather like a contact of a contact. So it's actually a contractor. I have this contractor friend who has this contractor friend that we got to know each other, right? And so this contractor friend, his girlfriend family want to buy a landed under the girlfriend's name. So when I found out about it, well, rather when he shared with me about it, then I was very proactive. Again, you know, he gave me their criteria, and from my side, I also sent him a lot of listings. So he was very kind also. So we actually have quite a good working relationship, whereby I will also try to recommend him. He does quite a fair bit of kind of like a renovation. So on my end, when I have clients who want to renovate, I'll recommend him as a contractor or an interior designer. And then when he has contacts that want to buy houses, he will also try to recommend me lah. So when his girlfriend's family want to buy, I was very on the ball. I went down for several viewings, and then we spotted this really big corner terrace and grand landed in Pasir Ris. And the family, his girlfriend's family, fell in love because the mom wants a very big and grand landed, which is very hard to find. So for anyway, just sharing a little bit of the background of this property. Is 3,800 square feet corner terrace, and we got it at $3.1 million, which I feel is very worth it. And this is just if we got it early this year. Of course, you know, now that Pasir Ris 8 have sold $2,000 per square foot, I'm very happy for my client. I think they will make money when they sell this in future. Yeah, and this is freehold. So that forms, of course, with the quantum being very high, it's also a big commission from this deal. And then the second deal that I closed to achieve this diamond is a HighCom new launch, which is a TOP project called The Line. So I have been serving a set of clients actually for about 6 months. Yeah, they've been shopping high and low, far and wide. We've been looking at many condos. And eventually we came down to this TOP condo unit at The Line, and they fell in love with it. And then we spent like almost, I would say, almost a month to negotiate back and forth, timeline, as well as the pricing, and then they committed. So this is a bit of a background of how I got my first diamond. Yeah, which leads me to wanting to share how we can, with the power of strategic planning, we can continue to achieve HighCom month to month. So, you know, after I have assisted my clients to buy The Line, I came to this realization that The Line is really a undervalued buy, because right now it's averaging 2,200 to 2,300, under 2,400 per square foot, which is still significantly lower than the other new launch condos in the same area. And this is a completed unit. And along the Tanjong Rhu Mayor front, there's a lot of boutique projects, but The Line is a good size project. There's still sizable facilities and many other benefits, which I'm not going to go into detail. You can log in into SG Property to take a look. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, so basically, what what I've been doing since, is as you may know, also my GTA is in District 15, so I do have quite a few resale condo listings in the area. So one example is One Amber. I have a 3-bedroom One Amber for sale, even currently. So from there, whenever the buyers come, and the price point is similar. It's also about in terms of the quantum, about 2.3 to 2.4 million dollars. So when the buyer come or inquire on my listing, then I will say, oh, would you be interested to also take a look at the line? And in addition to the line, by the way, guys, there's also many other new launch. There's Amber Park, of course, and there is One Mayor. There's also Infinity at East Coast. Yeah, and so on and so forth. So I just want to emphasize that every lead is a potential to actually swing to other new launch projects which can yield us higher comp. You never know that you might be the agent that have recommended them, or to be the first agent to recommend them a new launch that they have otherwise not heard or seen before. So it would be good to actually have a list ready, to at any one time when the client contact you for your listing in your GTA area, you can tell them, oh, okay, based on your budget and your criteria, I have this to recommend as well. Would you be interested to take a look? Is this part sharing good? Okay, so the other strategic planning, right, is this is probably very common and you might already know. But sometimes knowing is one thing and applying and adapting is another. So Pasir Ris 8, as we have all known, has really had a watershed impact and effect in the new launch market. So from marketing Pasir Ris 8, right, we can actually swing to Sengkang and swing to Antares. So this is just another simple strategic example that we can adopt. Yeah, of course, I think it's not limited to just this example. There are also many other multiple examples. I think the idea is that the concept is this, yeah, that when you are marketing one product, don't limit yourself and the client to just this project, but learn how to really open up and know what other comparable projects that you can also swing to, so that you can, widen your possibility of closing. Yeah. So now I'm going to share how I established myself as a digital influencer. And I hope from my sharing, you'll be able to glean the things that, I would say, the features that you can, the parts of my story that you can adapt for yourself, so that you can establish your own unique identity, and concurrently, always having at the back of our mind that we also want to establish our identity as a successful realtor online. And from there, that's where we can get a consistent leads funnel from our cold and warm market through the power of social media. So as Bjorn might have already shared a little at the start, some of you might know me as an online lifestyle blogger. So in this part, I will be sharing how I started blogging, how through blogging I got to attend a lot of events, and how I grew my influence through giveaways on the blog as well as on Instagram. And to be very frank, I'm not so active on blogging. I'm more active on Instagram now. And from there, how I got a lot of cold and warm leads and referrals from this digital influencing. So maybe not many of you might know, I actually started blogging almost as long as I started my real estate career, which is like 10, 11 years ago. In fact, just slightly a year longer than real estate. Yeah, the benefit of starting young, guys. So I started blogging in 2010. I think I'm in my first 3 years, I was a very, very, very prolific blogger. I believe I have almost like 800 blog articles in my blog right now. Yeah, so so how it started is I was actually, studying in LaSalle, as you already know. And I would share about my internship experience working in or interning with Singapore Fashion Week. And I would have photos of like the backstage, and then I will talk about like the shows that I attend, whether it's backstage or front stage, as a student or as like an intern. Yeah, so then from there, I remember I also started sharing about some beauty reviews about, I remember I started off with lip balm. Yeah, I started sharing about one lip balm. And then from there, like many other brands of lip balm would send or write into me and email me and say, oh, will you be able to review my this other brand? And then from lip balm, we went to skincare and went into this and that and many, many, many more. So in fact, I never put, but you can Google Ena Teo lifestyle blog or Ena Ballista. You will find that I just enjoy sharing. I just really enjoy sharing about myself lah, about beauty, about fashion, about food, about lifestyle. And so after 3 years of blogging in the year 2013, I still remember I was actually away on a church camp with one of my girlfriend, and then I received the email news that I was featured as Hotel Club's list of best Singapore lifestyle blog 2013. As you can see, I got the award. I screenshot for you to see. And even up until last year, I was still made it to the list of top beauty blogger 2020, the top 39 beauty blogger to follow based on your skin type. Yeah, so I think a lot of throughout the years, many people have wrote into me, or not, sorry, not just wrote, yeah, they wrote into me, but in person also, they will ask me like, oh, how do you do it? How do you become a blogger? How do you become an influencer? And my answer is always very simple and very similar. And the answer is you just have to be consistent. Yeah. Now, number one, you need to be confident. Number two, then you need to be consistent. And why I say confident is because many people are very shy to share about themselves. Yeah. So definitely, I'm sure, as you would probably already know by now, I'm an extrovert. So, of course, to me, to be able to share about my life is a very natural extension and part of me. So of course, I think that that personality of mine benefits me being an online influencer because I really truly enjoy sharing with my friends and followers. Yeah, so now, so therefore you cannot be shy lah. You must be confident to share about what you like and what you can focus on sharing on what you like. You don't have to share about what you don't like. Yeah, so and then secondly, being confident is one thing, being brave and courageous enough to share about things online is one thing. Then the second thing is you need to be consistent. Yeah, so I believe like I actually got my breakthrough to be recognized as one of the best lifestyle blog in 2013 is after consistently engaging, updating my blog for 3 years. That's when brands would recognize that I've been very consistent. I give very sincere reviews, that is very genuine. It's not just like very kind of like superficial reviews. Yeah, so I believe this applies to many things that we do in life. If you want to get results, right, very often you are not going to get it overnight. Yeah, so there is this concept, and this book is called the 10,000 hour rule, which I do believe in because it took me, I think, about 10,000 hours over 3 years to achieve a kind of like prominence in my blogging. Yeah, so I think it's the same for real estate as well. If you are willing to hustle, of course, if you hustle harder in a shorter period of time, you can get a bigger result. But if you are just doing 10,000 hours, it will take you about 2 to 3 years, before you are able to get a significant result. So until then, result is not always overnight. Very rarely you're going to get overnight results. You must be consistent in the content that you put out to really slowly grow an organic following and get the result that you want. So from my blogging, I was able to meet many professionals. So even though I was very into fashion, in fact, I'm more into the beauty, I would say like uh, circle for blogging and digital influencing. A lot of the people I meet there are professionals like myself. Very often blogging is not our main or first career. There are very, very few bloggers that are full-time bloggers. Yeah, so in fact, so the people that I meet, right? In fact, I'm going to name three professions that have, through my networking in this blogging beauty sphere, they have also become my clients. Yeah, so one is in fact, a few of them are business owners. One is a fund manager, and another is a sales manager, and all of whom I have assisted to buy, sell, and rent. Yeah, so at this point in time, I just want to highlight that it's not just like, you don't have to be a blogger to achieve this kind of similar uh, kind of networking effect. In fact, like you could be, I would say, really to follow your passion. So whether you're interested in cars, or whether you're interested in art, or whether you're interested in food, when you very passionately follow your interests, you are able to meet many like-minded people who are equally passionate as you are. I never go to events with the intention or with a placard to say, oh, I'm a real estate agent, come and find me to buy, sell, rent. I never do that. In fact, I'm usually never the first to broach the real estate topic with them. But when they ask me, oh, what do you do? And of course, naturally, I'll tell them, oh, I'm a real estate agent. And then they will start telling me. Then after the event, during the event, we exchange contacts. After the event, they will message me and they'll say, oh, I'm looking to blah, blah, blah. Then I follow up from there. So I think it's very important when you attend this kind of events that you are passionate about to have no agenda. In fact, very often, like I think when I go to events without an agenda, yeah, that's when the networking happens very, very naturally. Yeah. Yeah. So I think another big question that I always get is how do I grow my following? And the answer I have, maybe it's different for different people. For me, I think a large part of the following came from giveaways in the last 10 years that I have been online as an influencer, which also, to be fair, is not difficult because I get a lot of brands that reach out to me to offer me to review and to share their products through giveaways. Yeah, so these are two recent giveaways that I actually conducted on my Instagram. And at this point in time, okay, maybe you might be wondering, like, okay, what is the relevance for me? I'm not a beauty blogger. I can share with you, I think, you can keep it very simple. If you want to grow your following, you could say, I would like to give away Starbucks coffee vouchers. If you were to follow me or, to answer my questions, just do random small giveaways. That's when, because people always, want to know what's in it for them. Yeah, so this is something that I think you can adopt, sorry, for your own channels. Yeah, so as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm not so active on my blogging front anymore. In fact, I'll be very frank. I think the rate of which I'm blogging, I used to blog hundreds, at the start of the decade. Now I'm really down. The new decade, I think the year I'm only updating 1 to maybe 3 times a year. Yeah, because really, real estate is now my main focus. Yeah, and to be very frank with you also, through blogging and digital influencing, I don't get much cash, if any at all. My income is predominantly still real estate. However, I do benefit a lot because I do get a lot of first tips in terms of new products, new launch, and events, which I personally enjoy very much. And I also do save a lot of money. Yeah, so really, I think it really is. Internet shows us that when you're passionate about something and you're able to share that passion with the people online, you actually do get a lot of rewards from that. So don't be shy about what you're passionate about. When you share consistently, you attract more and more people like yourself who share the same passion. Yeah. Now I just want to touch a little bit about my personal Instagram. So if you have been following me, you will come to realize that I'm quite consistent now on my Instagram presence, whereby I'm always sharing about my property viewings on the weekends, sometimes even on the weekdays, and also sharing the awards that I have achieved through my closings. And of course, I also really, it's very normal. People like to see, people like to share, and people like to see, what's the delicious food that we are having. And also personally for me, I'm a huge fan of like fashion and beauty. So I like to share about my outfit of the days and my make of the days. And also, I really enjoy going to cool new places that I haven't been before, whether it's like a restaurant, a cafe, and yeah, so I enjoy sharing the new places that I like to go as well. And nowadays, with COVID, we can't travel much or go indoors. So I believe you all already know a lot of people start taking on new hobbies. I started going a lot of I say like walks, long walks. It's not hikes. In Singapore, no, I'm not hiking a mountain. Yeah, so like walks with friends, MacRitchie, Bedok Reservoir, East Coast Park, all these places. Yeah, so I think you might not realize this, but when you share, you also inspire people that these are the activities that they can do. So they enjoy following or seeing this kind of stories, Instagram stories, that can inspire them for new activities that they can do as well. Yeah, so for myself, I'm also quite, I like to see cars, so on the road, when I see interesting cars, I also like take a story and share, this car I've seen over here, and then talk about the cars. And personally, I also like art a lot because, as you know, I'm a art school graduate. So I really enjoy attending art events and exhibitions. So from there, I've also met a lot of new contacts. And really, it's just a passion of mine. So yeah, again, these are unique to who I am as a person and my passion and interest. So your own Instagram definitely will look and reflect very differently as per according to your own passions and interests. So I think what I'm trying to say, and hope that you can take away from is that you first of all, you need to know what is it that your passion and interests are clearly, and then be able to translate that online. So when people are able to maybe meet you for the first time, right? They don't know you very well. But when they see your Instagram, they are able to have an idea of who you are, what you're passionate about, and that gives them the ability to build a close rapport with you just by seeing your socials, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. So I strongly believe that our socials should reflect who we are as a person, and these are really amazing tools that we have at our within our control. So if you have yeah, so I highly encourage you all to spend some time to update your social, so that we call this social proofing, so that when clients actually meet you for the first time and they don't know much about you, they don't know whether you can be trusted. But when they see your social media presence and they realize that, oh, you're a very real and genuine person, that's when they feel they can trust you more. Yeah. So another way that I actually want to share about how I also grow my influence and awareness online. In fact, this is something that happened very recently, and it's a very small and isolated example. So social media is called social media for a reason. We need to be social. So even as something as mundane and inane as like Liho milk tea that I ordered on, yeah, it was just this recent Tuesday, and I was like, in fact, it's a true story that I have not ordered Liho for a long time, and then I decided to post the bubble tea cup, and like, cause it was very pretty, cause I haven't had it for a long time, I didn't know it looked so good. So I tagged Liho, and then Liho actually mentioned me in their story. And if you were to click in to see Liho, you will notice that they have 59.2K followers. As of now, I only have about 7,400 over followers. So one thing you can do to build and grow your following is actually to tag bigger brands, when, or like restaurants, when you go and eat out, when you tag and they mention you and reshare your story, for all you know, their followers may see and they might, out of curiosity, tag to see your account. And if they like your account, they like who you are, the things that you post, then they might follow you. So this is another example of how we can grow our social media following. Yeah, so of course, from this, as I mentioned, of course, in addition to meeting the people through events that I know from my blogging and digital influencing, meeting them is one thing, but being able to be consistent in sharing my real estate updates allow them to be kind of like notified or know that I'm an active agent in the market. So by the time they want to buy, sell, or rent, then they know that I am, be able to be at their disposal lah. So this example is, I would say, like a girlfriend of mine that I met through one of my blogging, and so she was looking to buy a house last year, and I was able to assist her, and her husband through their property search. So I would say I am consistently getting like 1 to 2 leads every month, from my social media. Yeah. So coming down to my second last part, I think I'm on track. Okay. So as Bjorn have also shared earlier, I have created my own real estate branding. I call it Live65. So okay. So without further ado, so I will share with you. I actually started this brand, I would say, like close to 4 years ago. It was actually, at the point in time, it was called Lux65. So 65 stands for the Singapore country code plus 65. And I went from Lux to Live because Live is a name that, can be relevant for not just luxury properties, and also not just I would say residential real estate, but it can be, you can live, work, and play. So it can also be like for commercial reasons as well, if I want to market commercial properties, down the line, although I'm not focusing on commercial at the moment. So I just want to emphasize that don't feel like you need to be stuck to one brand, or a name. The brand or the branding should be a reflection of who you are, or the ideals that you want to represent. However, you don't need to feel like if you create a brand, you can't change it and tweak it. As like a brand is actually a representation of who we are. And as humans, we are always changing. Even, in fact, global brands have been known to change their logo. So much less we have the ability to change the brand name, the brand color, all the different aspects of the brand. So the idea that I want to emphasize, as I said earlier, is to be confident and to be consistent. You will never, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So don't feel like you need to be perfect before you begin. Yeah, so I hope, if you've been sitting on the fence about starting a real estate brand, or kind of like an extension, today's sharing will encourage you to push you over the fence and begin your journey lah. So the reason why I wanted to create a property brand apart from my name and my persona and my personality and me as a person is because I wanted it to be professional, and I didn't want my name, Ena Teo, to be tied with property. As you might know, I have a blogging part about me, and I might want to use my name and brand for other things not related to real estate in the future. And also, beyond a personal kind of like a brand, I will be able when I start recruiting people, I will be able to use this brand for my recruits so that we can all be part of this branding, and we can share our listings under this branding. Yeah, so I would say like my goal of setting up this Live65 is to empower millennials to make smart decisions for their property investments. So at this point in time, I will share with you a branding video that I did actually a few years back. I haven't got a chance to update it yet. I will share with you for you to watch this.
My aim is to help you make smart and well-planned investments by understanding your needs, clarifying your priorities, and achieving the best deal in the shortest time possible. Hi, I'm Ena Teo. In this video, I'd like to share more about myself. I was first introduced to the real estate industry as a marketing intern with development company CBL. Thereafter, I started taking up real estate night classes and began working as a part-time agent while juggling my university degree before becoming a full-time agent. As a realtor, I focus on residential condominium sales and rental, mainly in the east and central regions. In my course of work, I enjoy the process of showing my clients beautiful residential houses and also take pleasure in meeting clients from various walks of life, thereby expanding my network. Having a wider network comes as an advantage in connecting my clients with the best suited property. I also derive satisfaction in being able to value add to my clients' lives by matching the right buyer to the right seller. I believe in nurturing long-term relationships and that the work I do will have a positive and lasting impact on my clients' lives. This philosophy has served me well, as many of my clients have benefited from my insights, endorsed my service, and as a result, continually refer their family and friends to me for their property needs. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a seasoned investor, or someone looking to downsize, do contact me and I'll get in touch with you as soon as possible. Empower your future with me today. I look forward to seeing you.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my slides. Is it this one? Yes, okay. So when I create this Live65 brand, I also have set up Instagram account. So a bit similar to what I was sharing earlier, when you have your own personal brand, you want your followers to, or your friends and contacts, when they first engage and see your account, to know like who you are and what you represent. So it is the same with my Live65 brand. So when my customers, whether they are new, strangers, or existing clients, when they are able to tap in and see my Live65 brand on Instagram or Facebook, they should be able to at a glance know like the work that I am doing, have done, and will be doing. So these are just like, of course, feel free to right now, open your Instagram and check out my Live65 official page. You'll be able to see like from there, I market my resale listings, new launch, and also include, I won't be going into details for all of it, but you can ownself go and see what I've done, include testimonials, market updates, my achievements. Sometimes I talk about recruitment. I do like call shout outs to see whether people would want to join me during as an agent, and of course holiday and greetings and festive greetings. So so I don't just do new launch, but I also do resale marketing. So sometimes when this is a additional avenue to market your clients' listings when you are on social media. So this is also something that a value added service I actually share with my clients when I'm doing my listing presentation. And of course, as I mentioned earlier part, the power of strategic marketing is that when we market a new launch, we are able to have a list of other resale TOP projects on standby or other new launch that we can swing and market to. So it's very important, I believe, to begin marketing new launch condos if you haven't. Yeah. So one thing I want to share with you, like a pro tip, is about creating edutaining content. So if you've not heard of this term before, you may be wondering, what is edutaining content? So edutaining content is content that is educational and entertaining, and also enjoyable. Yes. So I would say like a large part of my sharing on Live65 Instagram stories, as well as on my personal. In fact, I share with you that many times I will post, because I have two channels, right? I have my Ena Teo personal channel and I have my Live65 personal channel. So what I do is I will usually just post to one and tag the other so that I can reshare on the other account. So mainly I'm active on Ena Teo, so I will tag like my viewings and my closings. So in this particular story, it's actually the story that I shared with you for my May's diamond closing. I sold this Highcom new launch project. And I went up to see the unit with my clients. I filmed the beautiful views. So of course, you have to know, that people online like to see what's beautiful. So for me, when I go viewings, I love beautiful views, unblocked views, sea views. So these are the things that people like to see as well. So from there, after I have posted the story, I reposted the story and say this view is sold. And then I shared a photo of myself with the OTP of the closing. So yeah, what this goes to show is that people know that, oh, you are an active agent, with viewings, then very naturally it will also lead to closings. And it will also, it's very important, I would say, that your circle of influence get to see you on a consistent basis. Yeah, because when you are able to have the top of mind with them, then when they like you, they like your content, when they want to engage an agent, you naturally will be one of the top agent in mind for them. So other things that you can do is that you can share tips. So I had this very long, almost an hour long call with a client recently. And I very quickly just jot down some of the things that I shared with him about new launch marketing. So these are things that sometimes you don't need to have beautifully curated professional quality sharing. Sometimes this kind of like on the fly quick notes message will also work. Yeah, and I actually saw this Facebook post, shared by a friend on Facebook. And to be very frank with you all, right, when I saw this toilet, with the very raw and unfinished look, immediately I was thinking, wow, this one look like prison cell. Why do people want to renovate the toilet to look like a prison cell? I don't understand. But I was thinking, wow, instead of posting something so negative, which is my negative comment about this, why not, ask what do the people on my social media think and feel about it? And like many people responded to the story to say that they love it. Can you believe it? I was shook. I was like, wow, this kind of like raw and unfinished look people like, yeah. Yeah. So sometimes, when you see interesting things, don't be so quick to make a judgment on it, but it's also a good opportunity to be able to make that into a engaging kind of interaction with your followers and your friends. And why I want to encourage you all to do more of this kind of interaction is because when they are inclined to interact with you just through a touch of a button, they will feel more comfortable to actually engage with you in longer conversations, to the point where by one day they really have someone, or they themselves will have someone in mind to want to engage as a realtor. Is a very, very natural next step for them to do. Yeah. So similarly, other than polls, you can actually do Q&A questions feature on Instagram stories. if you're not doing Instagram stories, if you're doing Facebook posts, Instagram posts, it's good to leave a question in the caption so that you can set them thinking and give them an opportunity to answer to you. Yeah, again, social media is called social media for a reason. The whole idea is to be social, to interact with other people. You know, we don't exist as individuals, but we really exist as a community. And the more you share, the more social you are, then the more popular and likable that you will be on social media. So this is again, a sharing moment whereby I went down with a set of clients to take a look at Pasir Ris 8, and actually I did a series of kind of like a mini model walkthrough videos, because those are interesting. People love to see property tour videos. And so I insert a question to say, contact me for viewing or more info. So again, whether or not people actually interact with you is not the main question. The question is, do you actually provide the opportunity to let people interact and give you questions? Yeah, so another, again, a similar story lesson as to what I shared earlier is to repost. So when your clients, repost your story, be sure to also, when your clients tag you in their stories, be sure to also repost their story. So of course, if it's a very high profile client, then maybe you blur out their name so that other agents won't be able to contact your client. But if your client is a very, very close friend, you're happy to kind of showcase them as a testimonial. That's when, people will kind of realize that, oh, wow, Ena has real clients, real viewings. And, when they see that you have the trust and support of other clients, right, it will also encourage them to want to engage you as a realtor. Yeah, so now I've come to almost the last part. Yeah, I think I'm on track. So my bonus segment is also at this part. I will now be sharing with you some of the marketing strategies that I adopt for my own real estate business. Okay, so one very helpful tool is WhatsApp broadcast, if you are not already aware of it. So there's two things that I want to share in this segment. The first one is that WhatsApp broadcasts allow you to have up to 256 recipients. And if you don't really know about this, you can Google more. I'll very briefly share with you. So you are able to send to 256 people in one group or broadcast at the tap of your button. Okay. And they will not be in a group. Please don't confuse this to WhatsApp group, okay? Broadcast means it's a list. They will receive it individually. It's a little bit like email, but the email is like BCC, each other cannot see that they are in the same group. So usually I send monthly updates to my clients and I segmentize them according to property type. So my HDB buyers or sellers who have transacted HDB with me, they belong to the HDB segment. Then my condo resale and new launch, they belong to my condo segment. Then my landed buyer seller belong to my landed segment. Landed, okay, to be very frank with you, is very more limited because there's not many landed updates. But for HDB and condo, okay, I just want to share that this is what I mentioned at the start, leveraging on the systems as well as the marketing materials that our company ERA has so kindly provided. It's all at the tip of our fingers. You go and log into IERA, marketing templates. You can see, okay, I just, this is very new. If you see on my slide now, is the best selling projects in each locality for June 2021. So I do it only about once a month max. Maybe if there's a special property update, I maybe blast out to my clients 2 times a month. I try not to do it too often so that they find it very annoying. And I think once a month is good, so that, in a whole year, your clients that you have transacted with before get to meet you or not say meet you, read your message once a month, they will feel kind of touched, to know that, oh, my agent, has sent me a thoughtful market update for every month. So eventually, year 1, year 2, year 3 later, they have a family or friend, or they themselves, they want to transact. You have always been keeping in consistent contact with them. So there's this sense of familiarity, even though you haven't really engaged in deep and long conversations. But they will feel very comfortable. It's a very natural next step to just message you, reply, or, to just pick up the phone and call you, because you have been consistently reaching out to them. Yeah. So also at this point in time, I have another tip that I want to share with you. So as I mentioned, I have one Amber resale listing that I'm marketing at the moment, and I search. So basically, if you want to create like a one Amber buyer seller broadcast list, okay, what I usually do is every client and co-broke, I will save their name and then the project, and then B stands for buyer, BA stands for buyer agent. I will also save the year and the month. So for example, now it's July 2021, I will save 7.21 as their name. So it's very easy to extract. So anytime if I got another one Amber listing for sale, then I will blast to all these people in my contact and say, okay, I got a new listing. If you want to view, you want to bring your buyer, come view, contact me to view. So these are it's a very small, but I think a very, very useful tip to actually have kind of organize your contacts for powerful, follow-up in the future. So a second tool that company has come up with in the recent months is our property watch QR code. So I'm going to very briefly and quickly share with you how you can extract your own personalized QR code. It's under our IERA Realty Watch. You go to my page, and then you'll be able to get your screenshot over there. Okay, so I actually adapted this line. If you see below the QR code, it says free property watch service, updating your customers the latest property transactions in their neighborhood. Be within reach when your customers are ready to buy or sell. And from there, I actually reposted my QR code onto my Live65 social media, and I kind of rephrase it, and I shared in my caption. I said it's a 24/7 auto-generated property watch and search report, to enjoy this tech tool and reports that will further educate and empower your property transaction decisions. Yeah, so I think company has really done a lot to really give us all these marketing tools to empower us. I just want to emphasize that don't need to reinvent the wheel. You really don't need to create your new marketing designs from scratch. Company really gave us a lot of powerful tools and designs. We really just need to extract and repost. If you don't have the time or the aesthetics strong suit to redesign like I do, it's fine. Okay? The bare minimum I think is to just literally download and repost on your own socials. Yeah. So on that note, right, as you all might already be very busy with your day-to-day clients, you might not have the time to do it all by yourself. So at this point in time, my other pro tip is to highly encourage you to outsource if you have not already. So I'll touch on two areas that you can outsource to. One is having a virtual assistant for your admin matters, and second is for social media management. So the first one, for virtual assistant, I do actually have one. Don't mind sharing with you all. I found my virtual assistant. She's based in Philippines. I found her through Upwork. Similarly, you can actually find your virtual assistant on Upwork or Fiverr. And they are really paid by the hour. Whatever you engage them to do, you can find maybe a PA for like 4 to 5. Upwork uses USD lah. Of course, you are free to find on Gumtree or in Singapore for Singaporean PAs or VAs. and just set whatever amount that you are happy to engage them for. Yeah, at this point in time, I just want to share with you, like, I really like am so happy that I have a virtual assistant, because I really dislike doing admin. So if you're like me and you really dislike doing administrative things, but you know these are very critical and important things to do, so my high recommendation is for you to outsource. Outsource the things that you don't like to do, you don't enjoy doing, and you'll be very happy like me. So I outsource creating and updating property listings to my PA. Of course, you need to give her or him the bare basics. You need to teach her, you need to give her your login code and name and password, and give her the photos, the floor plan, and the description. Then she will do it for you. Yeah, and also, as agents, if you service buyers like I do, clients like to see listings at a glance. At this point in time, yeah, I cannot believe and understand why Property Guru, despite so many years of experience and our so much money invested in them, they haven't been able to allow us to, check and then update the list, right? You have to own self do it, so it's okay. So anyway, I have a virtual assistant, so I will send her all this listing that I shortlisted or client shortlisted, and then I'll get her to compile all this. This is all very brainless things. Yeah, so get her to compile into Excel, and when it's done, then I'll send to my client, and clients will be very impressed. And it's so good and easy for you as an agent and for them as clients to see, like, wow, based on PSF, which is a value buy, when compared at a glance. Very important. Yeah. So, and also arranging viewing. So I don't know about you, but I think year 2020, 2021, people really cannot travel. So a lot of people want to upgrade their homes, and viewings have been quite insane when we can go out for viewings. And so I have, a lot of viewings, and I will ask my assistant to help me arrange this viewing. So likewise, when you get really busy, you want to focus on the things that only you can do, which is being physically present and negotiating and contacting your client directly. So all these like admin things that you can outsource, yeah, you can really outsource. So second thing that you can outsource is social media management. I actually have another assistant to help me with my social media management, but I'll be very frank, it's not been easy, because I'm very particular about the things, the design and the caption, and have not really been able to formulate like the right system to work seamlessly. So I'm still trying to figure this part out. But of course, I want to encourage you all to, if you can figure it out, you can share your tips with me, and try to also outsource, because again, these are the non-important things, but very helpful to build our brand, our reputation online. Yeah, so at this point in time, I also want to share with you all this website and app called Canva. If you don't already know, many agents like myself, maybe you already know about it. If you don't know about it, please go and get yourself an account. There's a free one and there's a paid one. Many agents that are top producers I know have a paid one like I do, because it's very useful. It's in fact, they are so useful that I think they become a unicorn. They hit their $1 billion. Yeah, because they really have solved a big problem. People like us, we don't use Adobe professionally, but Canva allows you to create beautiful social media postings and designs very easily. And from Canva, in fact, they even have created a new feature. You can even schedule your postings. So if you, I just want to encourage all of us, including myself, to outsource this part to someone that can help you do. It doesn't even have to be a Singaporean, anyone that you can engage online, some other part of the world. Yeah. So now we are entering our bonus segment. The last few minutes. Thank you for staying throughout my sharing. I hope you have learned a lot so far. So at this point in time, earlier on I was talking about how I got my first car, right? And I didn't want to run into a part where like I didn't have enough money for my expenses. So I'm reminded by this phrase, if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. So which leads me to financial planning. I think having very prudent and focused strategic financial planning has been a big part of my success, I would like to say. So I have a Excel sheet. It's called financial projection. And what I do is I put my income at the top and my expenses below. So every month, from Jan to December every year. So I'm able to track that my income when I close this month, it will come in when, and to make sure that every month I always have surplus. So this is a real example of all the monthly expenses that I have, the personal and the business expenses. So if you like a template, you just reach out to me on Ena_Teo. Follow me there and follow me on Live65 official, and I'll send you the link to this Excel. So in addition to financial planning, I want to emphasize specific goals lead to specific results. So another bonus is, how it's very, very normal for big global businesses, even local SMEs, to have yearly financial projection. So similarly, we can do the same for ourselves. If you know you are going to hit 100K this year, then we should aim to hit 200 next year, 300 the following year. Because if you don't have a specific goal, then how would you know whether you have hit that goal or not? So similarly, if you are able to be very specific with your figures and numbers, but knowing that humans, we are actually wired visually. So when we have a vision board, we are able to work more efficiently and be very motivated every day. So like what Bjorn said, he actually got to see the new car that I bought. It's something that I put down in my vision board last year. So I highly encourage you to very, very quickly, in fact, I created this on Canva. You can create your vision board, Google search photos and put them together and have two versions, one for your phone home screen, one for your laptop home screen, or, put it somewhere you can see every day to motivate you to work harder for yourself and achieve these goals for yourself and for your family. Yeah. So there's this very popular saying that if you can achieve it, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. But I like to say that if you can dream it, you have to set a deadline and action plan to it, then you can achieve it easily. Okay, and at this point in time, I hope that you have enjoyed my sharing so far. I want to encourage all of us not to downsize our dreams, but to upsize our plans. I strongly believe that if we have a dream and we have a plan to be able to achieve these dreams, then it will be achievable at the end of the day. Yeah, so at this point in time, I want to thank every one of you who have listened in for my sharing. I hope you have benefited from it. And also, once again, want to thank Kevin, Bjorn, and Celine for assisting, giving me the opportunity to share with you all today and assisting for today's sharing. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Anna. So basically, right, today, right, we really have the very good opportunity, right, to actually have her to share. And the good thing, right, is that, she really poured her heart out. So basically, right, it's really, very hard for us, right, to actually find somebody like that. And of course, if you all have any further questions, right, you can actually chat in the chat group, and then of course we'll answer you. We still have a bit of time. Probably will take the next 5 to 10 minutes, right, to answer your questions. Feel free to actually ask her anything. She's here for a reason. Definitely, right, she will answer every one of your questions. Right or not, Anna?
Yes. Okay, let me stop share and see if you have any questions. Do you all have any questions for me? Beyond, are you in your new property?
Yeah, and actually now doing defects liability, the defects check. Yeah, so it's
Congrats on your
really
finishing.
on
Come
mobile
give
now.
us a home tour while we are at it.
Really,
Wow,
not
I
bad.
see.
2 bedroom. So now there are actually there's like a lot of like tips and things over here, like all this stuff that they're going to actually clear. And then actually for Twin View itself, really not bad already. For the developer, the finishing and everything is really good. So even down to the toilet and the parquet, actually there's nothing much needs to be done. So most likely within 1 or 2 days they'll be actually finishing everything. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, good things I managed to find a tenant, so it's like pretty fast. Yeah, fast game.
Nice. You got a 2-bedroom unit, is it?
Yeah, 2 bedroom.
Wow, congrats, man.
Elon is coming over later. He's like meeting soon already.
Okay.
All right. So if there's no other further questions, let me take a
We
look
have
again.
one question from Claire.
Yeah.
So, Anna, does your virtual assistant knows Singapore geography well, and how much is their rate?
Oh, okay. To be very frank, no, they won't know the Singapore geography well at the start. Okay, so you will have to slowly educate them. Like for example, like I'm very kind of like active in the District 15, so a lot of my inquiries and clients will be around this area. So I will give her very specific instructions to search in a specific district. For example, if I have buyer for District 19 or District 15, then she will be able to search for the listings accordingly lah. Although sometimes, again, it depends how much you want to offload and outsource the work. Sometimes it can, you can do some part of it and then outsource the more inane things to them. But sometimes if you want to fully outsource, then the PA needs to be more educated. So you might need to do some educating at the start with your PA or VA. And the rate is, for me, I'm paying 4 to 5 USD. Again, it depends. Yeah, so if you want to, I really highly encourage you to try different PA. In fact, I have over the last 2 years, I've engaged like 3 to 4 different PAs for different things like admin things, for design things. So sometimes it's good to have, because they're freelance anyway and they only charge you by the hour. So it's good to kind of test and try and engage different PAs until you really find a few good ones. Yeah, so if one is busy, you can engage another one.
So I think to add on, right, for PAs, I think I also have my own fair share of engaging PAs. And of course, probably out of 10, right, you probably will encounter 6 to 7 that are not so good ones. Okay, might not be competent in Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and everything. Then you will meet one. And the good thing, right, is that you need to actually go through like the lousy ones first, right, in order to know which one. So there must be a bench. The good one just comes to you at the first, like, you don't even know that it's good, right? So yeah, so back to Anna's story also. I think this is a trial and error thing that everybody has to go through. But once you go through this process, I'm very, very sure that you'll be able to actually find a competent and reliable PA.
Yes,
right?
you really need to go through a trial and error. So to answer James, how can I find a trusted VA? Okay, so I actually do make my PA or VA sign a non-disclosure agreement, a very simple one that I draft up just to say that whatever client information that they have access to, they are not allowed to share with anyone else. Yeah, so that's one thing that I do. And you just got to trust them lah. That's the whole point of outsource. You really but okay, so a good thing about Upwork, okay, is that every account or a person that's on there, they have a profile and you can leave your review for them, so you know they can be trusted. So because if they really do something wrong, you can actually complain them, or you can kind of like give low ratings. So most of the virtual assistant on Upwork is quite reliable. And no, I don't charge them, or they don't charge me by per listing, but they charge me per hour. So it takes them maybe 15 to 30 minutes. So maybe for me to create the listing is about at most $2 to $3. Yeah. So from Brian, do you still do Facebook marketing despite that you already have your own follower base? If you do, how much do you invest in digital marketing every month? Okay, yes, I still do Facebook marketing, and the answer is it depends and it varies. I would say for every campaign, you need to spend at least $5 a day. So it depending on what I am marketing. So if you think $5 is very little, in fact, I've spoken with the Facebook marketing expert and team. They actually encourage at least $10 to $15 a day. So I would say it really depends at what stage and what property you are marketing. Is it new launch? Is it resale? But I would say the baseline is $5 a day. And then if you have the budget and the capacity, then you are free to up. I would say $15 to $30 a day is very, very good already. Yeah.
All right. So end of this session, I know that you guys still have a lot of burning questions that you want to ask Anna. However, right, what you all do right is very simple. Okay. Go on to her Instagram page, Live65 official, and then add her onto Instagram. You all can continue asking questions over there. I'm very certain that in her free time, she might even spare you some time for some coffee. Okay, so go ahead and add her on Instagram, and of course, wishing you guys good success in your business. Thanks, Anna, for taking time to actually coming up with this session and the slides. It was really very insightful. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you all around.
Thank you. See you all on Instagram. Bye. Bye, Beyond. Thank you. Bye, guys.